Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining again tonight. We are live on Grace for Purpose Publishing Co. page on Facebook. So if you can, as you tune in, share this video. Super excited. I have a special guest, one of my amazing authors, Lisa Freeman, on with us. We are going to be talking about faith while waiting, entrepreneurship, and a little bit more. So we're gonna give it just a couple more minutes as people join us. And like I said, as you see the video pop up, go ahead and share it. And I'm Juanita Woodson, owner of Grace for Purpose Publishing Co. I am a mom, a wife, an author, a author coach, a publisher, many different hats that I wear. But one thing that I feel God has called me to do is to be a purpose pusher. So I am here with one of my clients, Lisa, and I'm going to have her just give a brief introduction of herself. And we're going to dive into this topic and learn a little bit more about her projects. Lisa, you have the floor.
Awesome and amazing. Hello, everyone. And thank you so much again, Juanita. It's always a blessing, always exciting to connect with you and your vision and just your personality. I just love your personality. So thanks for having me again. To those of you that don't know me personally, I am Lisa Freeman. I am the CEO of Looks by Lisa Freeman. That's my brand. That's my baby. That's my vision. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I mean, I have my hands in a couple of different things, but most importantly, my main thing is being my true, authentic self. Um, After that, everything else flows. After that, sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to do next. All I know is I walk by faith.
Yeah.
I am a woman of God. I'm a wife to my amazing husband of 29 years. We've been knowing each other for 32 years, but I've just feel like I've been knowing him all my life. He is my everything. Lynn Freeman, that's my husband, and I have 3 adult children, 2 grandchildren, and like I said, several businesses. So I just love doing me, being like I said, being myself, and allowing my gifts to make room for me. Um, Pursuing things in excellence and commitment, and those are the types of things that drive me. Those are the types of things that keep me going. And so, I was just telling Juanita the title of her podcast, Faith While Waiting. That's just my life, right? So I just can't wait to just dive in and just share and talk with you all. So yeah, like she said, y'all share the video. I know something is going to be said tonight that's going to really resonate with you and just help you throughout the course of the night.
Yes, definitely. And I'm super excited to dive in. And I wanted to say congratulations because I know you have a new grandbaby on the way.
I do. I do. We're gonna have grandbaby number 3 early October. So cannot wait. It's gonna be another boy.
Oh, boys are fun and amazing. I love them. And so you also published a book last year, and then you were co-author on a book. So tell us the title of both of the books that you were a part of.
Listen, so y'all see, she had to tell me that I'm also an author. I'm telling y'all, it's like this is why I like, shows like this, podcast, however, whatever you want to call it, because I'm so much in go mode. I'm so much in doing the things that I do on a daily basis. Sometimes I forget. I forgot that I'm actually an author too. But yes, I am an author, y'all. Last year I published my first book. Is called Be the Change, Pursuing Confidence for Bigger and Better. It's breaking limitations, breaking off those things that try to hold us hostage, and breaking away from those things that from our past that have tried to keep us on keep us in a stagnated mindset. And when I tell you, that book blessed me, it blessed me to be able to finally tell some stories and get some things out of my way so that I can continue to do what I do. So Yeah, sometimes, I even forget that I have authored a book. I have penned a book, because it's my life,
Right.
and so I wake up every day and I do it every day like it's like it's nothing. But that was a great experience. I love that. And then to co-author, let me show y'all the books, to co-author with Juanita and some of the other fabulous ladies, Moments for Moms, that was another pivotal moment in my life. So this is Be the Change. This is my book that I published last year, and this is the book that we co-authored together.
Yes, awesome. Lisa is like one of the hardest working women that I know. And everything that she does, she wants to do it in excellence. And I always appreciate that. Like, you're a go getter. You
Yeah,
don't just, do it and then let the chips fall where they may. You really give all of your effort to make things happen. So, this month, we are talking about faith while waiting. So, tell us, what does faith mean to you and how has it helped you through periods of waiting?
listen, all I can say is it's like a breath of fresh air to, first of all, wake up in the morning and know that you have a higher being, you have God, you have your angels, you have appointed angels, you have that relationship with God that sometimes you don't know what you're going to do, you don't
Yes.
know how it's going to work out, but as long as you tap into your faith with God, and it's rare, it's genuine, it's unique, it's something that you get to do every day, and what you get to wake up and do every day.
Yes.
It's what drives me. It's the plans and purposes of your life that you don't have to always be ready for. You just believe. You just wake up and believe. You just wake up and be yourself. You just wake up and know that because you have tapped into that relationship with God, that you don't have to have all the pieces to the puzzle. Just
Right.
wake up and be grateful. That's one of the things I've learned, through my entrepreneur journey, to just be grateful. Sometimes we can forget about that because we're trying to be successful. We're trying
Right.
to dot the I's and cross the T's, and we're trying to show up on social media, and we're trying this and we're trying that, but we forget the little things that we have walked by faith with. Like, I
Right.
don't know any entrepreneur that woke up and just felt like they had it all together every day. All of us walk by faith every day. Every
Every
time
single
we
day.
get in our car and put the key in or hit the start button, that's faith. You you
Right.
you are expecting that car to start when you push that start button. You're
Right.
expecting when you put it in reverse that it's gonna actually go on. You don't think about it. You go and do it. So
Right.
faith to me is just literally waking up and being grateful, waking up and putting my whole life, my mind, my thoughts, my intentions, my motives, like all of those things play a role in my life for me, that
Right.
it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I cannot do it,
Right.
not walk by faith.
Right. I love that. I think of it this way: gratitude keeps you focused. Right. Like you said, we're so busy, the hustle and bustle of things. So it's easy to forget all the times that God has kept us. It's easy to forget all the doors that God has opened for us. But when you have gratitude, it just keeps you focused and it reminds you of everything that He's already done.
That's right.
So and I know with all the hats that you wear, like, having gratitude, wearing a lot of hats, it comes with a lot of responsibility and stress. So how do you overcome those periods? Because I know it can be a test of your faith.
Listen, I'm in one of those tests right now. Like today, an hour ago. No, but seriously, the way that I handle things, handle stressful areas, is to remind myself of the word of God. Like, there are certain
Yeah.
scriptures that I just quote just because, like, especially when I feel anxiety,
Right.
or and anxiety for me comes when I have to do something for the first time, and I have
Right.
absolutely no clue, I literally talk myself all the way through. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yes.
I can do, Lisa, you can do this, girl. Like, I talk to myself. That's coupled with my affirmations. I say every day, I am allowing myself to be me.
Yes.
That means that yes, I'm on social media all the time. That's how I run my business. That's how I connect with my clients, my customers. That's how I brand myself. So there's a lot that I see every day, but I
Right.
refuse to be anybody else but me. Right. So, quoting, the scriptures that I know that brings me peace,
Right.
that brings harmony back into my life, that reminds me of that gratefulness, um that allows me to understand that I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yes. Come on.
Like, it's some scriptures, y'all, like when you find them and that it clicks with you and it hits your heart and it hits you to the
Right.
core, it makes you feel grateful. Those are the scriptures you need to write down. And then, with some of those scriptures, I turn them into affirmations. And that's how I handle those stressful moments. Like, it's no other way. And prayer, of course, prayer,
Yes.
but prayer without works, and faith without works is dead. Like,
Right.
you can pray and you can quote all the scriptures you want, but if you're not believing in that thing, and if you're not putting action to what you're saying that you believe in God for,
Right.
like, what are you saying it for and what are you doing
Right.
it for? So yeah, I couple all of those things. And I'm gonna say this last thing, but I know some of my, close friends and families, they might say, Lisa don't answer her phone. She don't call. She don't, what I'm saying? Like, I don't talk on the phone. And I'm saying this for a reason. I schedule all my phone calls. Like, I'm not
Right.
the person that just sit on the phone and be like, yeah, girl, because yeah, child. None of
Right.
it, because I just got too much to do.
Right.
But with my schedule, I have to have some time to reflect, and because
Mhm.
I don't like to just haul off and do stuff. there,
Right.
there have been moments when I've had to do that, but for the most part, the calling that's on my life and the assignment that's on my life requires me to set aside quality time.
Right.
I just refuse to do anything out of order.
Definitely. Yes. And you said so much. Like, when I say we can break this down into different segments of the podcast, and
Yes.
something that jumps out to me and it makes me think, when you talk about the scriptures that you go back to and the affirmations that you say, the way that you speak to yourself matters when
Yes.
your faith is being tested, and in those waiting seasons, the things that you allow other people to say to you in those periods of time, they all matter.
Come on
So,
now.
shutting things down, and maybe not allowing everybody to have a voice in certain
Woo.
seasons is very important in those waiting seasons. So,
Yes.
like I said, I mean, when you think about faith while waiting,
Hmm.
it's very layered. So if we start to peel those layers back and we start to look at the work that we may have to do in those seasons of waitings, it really just makes you think. You
Yes.
can just let you can't just speak any type of way to yourself. You can't just let other people say anything to you. You have to be intentional about what you do and where you go. So,
Yes.
you have to think about that and kind of do those hard things in those
Yes.
periods of waiting, because things do come to test your faith. Like you said, you're just dealing with something today.
Yes. And they come to distract you, to get
Yes.
you off course. And most of the time it's with people,
Right.
things that are the closest thing to you. Like, you
Yes.
said something so key. You said, you got to be careful how you allow
Mhm.
people to speak to you. Like,
Right.
I'm going to say that again. You have to be careful who and how you allow
Yes.
people to speak things to you and over you. Because when you are in a season of waiting to hear from God, and you're operating, you have activated your faith to wait on him, and of course, the enemy doesn't want you to get the information. He doesn't want you to receive your
Right.
revelation. So here comes old such and such from back in the day, or here
Right.
comes the person that you thought would never trip on you, start tripping on you, and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden you in a full-blown argument or conversation with somebody who don't have any validation or authority
Right.
over your life, but all of a sudden they pop up.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
you hit that. Listen, you hit that nail right there.
Yes, and Pastor Arlene says there is power in what we say. Definitely.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So in your book Be the Change, you break different topics down. So how much has your faith impacted the messages that you shared in your book Be the Change?
I would say 150%. Like everything that I share in the book. First of all, to even get my faith in alignment to understand that I even had a message,
Right.
because all of the things that I share in the book are personal stories that help me to get in faith for my next level in life. That's
Right.
why I talk about breaking limitations, because throughout my journey, not just in entrepreneurship, but just as a person, I had to I had to like break through so many different things. So writing the book, first of all, believing that I had a story.
Right.
Most of us know we have a story, but we don't know how to either articulate that story, pin that story, break that story down into categories, and it can be overwhelming. So
Right.
what I had to get in faith to even say, Lisa, it's time to write the book. Even when our first consultation, I told you I already had a whole script, a whole
Right.
write up. And I'm grateful for that, because after meeting with you and you showed me, just talk to me about, just tell your story. I was able to go back and read that and say, oh man, it's some of the stuff wasn't relevant for today, because I wrote it like 15 years ago.
Right.
But you see how long it took me
Right.
to decide to do that. So everything in the book was about being walking by faith. Everything in the book, because there were personal stories that I wanted to forget.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And some of them are like still like really sensitive as I talk about it even right now. But and then even one or two chapters I almost took out because I didn't want to revisit it.
Right.
So that's how I know that I had to do the 1 o'clock shows that I started doing to share the book, because it's healing for me too.
Right.
You know what
Listen.
I'm saying? And I have to get used to talking about my stories, the parts that really, concern me. Yet
Right.
I'm looked at as this confident entrepreneur, the person that people see behind the camera posing in my videos and pictures. I got that part on lock. But
It's the hard things.
that's it.
It's
That's
the
it.
hard things. Yes, I shared that yesterday on the podcast. We have to do those hard things. When we do the hard things and we say, God, help me to do those hard things, and
Hmm.
we release, a lot of the things that we try to carry ourselves, because
Hmm.
first of all, being an entrepreneur, being a human being, God never intended for us to walk this path alone, right? So that's what sometimes makes it hard when we go out on our own and we try to figure it out ourselves. But when we
Hmm.
say, God, help me with these hard things, you come out stronger on the other side of that
Yes.
waiting period. And
Yes.
your purpose is not just for you. So sometimes sharing those personal, transparent moments,
Hmm.
you don't know how many people that you're touching just by showing up every Monday at 1 o'clock and sharing
Right.
different tips from your book. So Your purpose is not just for you, so we have to do those hard things. It's easy to do the easy things, right? But
Right.
it's the hard things where God really is like, you can't do this by yourself. This is all me.
Right. And it's in those hard times that while we are waiting, when we're waiting, sometimes we think we're not producing results, and we're not being confident, and we're not being successful. We get so hard on ourselves while we're
Mhm.
waiting in that waiting process. But those are the times, and I made a post about that earlier today. Those are the times where we need to build ourselves up even more, because that's
Yes.
the time that God really is trying to
Listen.
sit you down and talk to you and show you stuff. Because I know for me, let me speak for myself, I can be so busy trying
Mhm.
to make sure that I'm handling this.
Right.
I have a 33-year-old son, special needs son that lives on his own, lives almost 25 minutes away from me. He just moved. He in a new neighborhood. My mind is running. I gotta
Sure.
deal with all of the logistics behind the scenes for helping him to make sure everything, my family comes first. So
Right.
it's like, you know, my thing is this: when we know that things have shifted for us, that's the time and the moments that we need to make sure that we are walking by faith, because
Yes.
you can't just be doing when things start to shift, because it's something new. So
Right.
when he sits you down, or when you feel like nothing is going on, that's just God just saying, sit down,
Right.
take a
Right.
minute. I got to speak some things to you,
And
because
don't speak defeat, right? Because when you
right,
start speaking defeat over yourself, I feel like you start all the way from the
all the way.
beginning.
See?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I love it. Like I said, I love this conversation. I always love having these chats with you. We kind of just piggyback off of what we're thinking, like
Right.
mind. So, and you said something that really just that touched me. You're not just a business owner. You're also a mom. So your faith is not just for you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your faith carries over for your children and it covers your children. So the way that we speak to ourselves, it matters because we're not just covering ourselves, we're covering our family and our household. So I think
Right.
it's very important that we
Right.
have to keep God first. And don't get defeated just when it's like, okay, things may get a little overwhelming. And I see that so much on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurship is people glamorize being an entrepreneur, but when we talk about those waiting seasons, those quiet seasons when things you feel like you're not producing, sometimes you got to go back to the basics. Sometimes you may not be producing because you are all over the place and God does need to sit you down so that you can get back on track.
Right.
So, we have to be real with ourselves in
Exactly.
those waiting seasons because accountability makes you stronger. Staying consistent makes you stronger, and doing the hard things makes you stronger when you come out of that waiting season.
That's right. You're exactly right.
Yes, so go ahead, Lisa.
There are times when I had to transition through different things, like from even like my entrepreneur journey as a hairstylist, starting with that. There were so many layers to me
Right.
having to get out of my own way to to come out of fear from different things that I wanted to do with that. But what I have noticed, that every time that there were pressure points, and every time there were moments that I felt like, "Ooh, this is too much," I always got some sort of either revelation or
Right.
confirmation that I can do this.
Yes.
When I say every single time throughout my life, God has continued to be faithful and have continued to amaze me through those transitions. Like, coming from being a hairstylist and then actually saying to myself, I'm going to retire myself from being a hairstylist. Like, like, that was something that I enjoy and I still enjoy it.
Right.
I'm still licensed, but to say that I was going to retire myself and pursue the the online business full time, and then we added another layer to that. We added the wellness line, and then just starting the boutique itself. Like, I never started it, always wanted to, never started it because I was in my own head about finances, not even knowing. He didn't tell me to figure out the finances.
Right.
It's like we tend to get in our own way because we talk ourselves out of our purpose because of things that we're not used to.
Right. Right.
And so, if it's any entrepreneur out there or anybody that's looking to pursue your purpose and pursue the vision, whether it's just a different job, or if it's right, being a first time author, or switching gears from whatever it is. I just, I honestly say, just pursue your relationship with God. Talk
Yeah.
to him about your next. You don't have to figure out, have all the pieces, but just talk to him about your next. I did it this morning. Did it this, that's why I said, is it the moment you've been today? I did it this morning. Felt so good after just spending the time because I know it's coming.
Right.
I know
Yeah.
it's coming.
Yes. A lot of the weight that we carry, Lisa, honestly, like we put it on ourselves. We
Mhm.
put it on ourselves, and God did not intend for us to carry half of the things that that we are carrying. Like, there's that saying, God never puts more on us than we can bear, and
Right.
He doesn't. Half the stuff that we bear, it does not come from Him. It
Right.
comes from our own free will, our own decisions that we make. So when you get into those waiting seasons, you really have to decide to just like give God everything in those waiting seasons.
Mhm.
Honestly, like you said, it's like a weight is lifted when you give it to him and you allow him to guide your footsteps.
Right. Right. And then just practicing it through small things too,
Right.
not just waiting for something major, a major decision that you need. Don't wait to activate your faith in that season. Do it every day,
Right.
throughout the day. Just,
Yes.
start activating your faith through different things. Like, if you're not a talker, if you're not a speaker, start speaking, start,
Yes.
going live, or what I'm saying, like, do stuff that you normally don't do, and like you said, it will build so much confidence in
Right.
you know
Right. Yes. And that's one thing, like I did not like going live. Honestly, I did not. But it's like, how can I tell my clients and encourage my clients, like,
Right.
the way that social media moves, like it's all visual. You have to put yourself out there. So, find a way that works for you. Maybe it is doing a podcast, maybe it is pre-recording a video and posting it, but you have to be willing to do those hard things because honestly, like,
That's
People
how
need
you're gonna
people
learn.
need to see. That's the way you learn, right? That's how you sometimes you just have to rip the band-aid off. Like I said, stepping out of your comfort zone,
Hmm.
that's what makes you stronger. You can stay in the background if you want to stay small, but I don't think that God called me, and I'm speaking for me. I don't think
Right.
God called me to be small or to play small.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it requires me in this season to do those hard things. So,
Hmm.
like I said, I'm speaking for me. I can't speak for
That's
anybody.
all we can do. Like, and that's a part of our story. Our
Right.
stories are powerful. We may not see them like that, and those
Right.
that are watching may not see your story as being something that somebody want to hear or need to be heard, but
Right.
it is because all of us have a piece to the puzzle. When I say the puzzle,
Right.
to God's perfect grace over this world that we live in. Like,
Right.
there are people that are called celebrities, there are people that are
Mhm.
called leaders, and we have president, we have mayors, we have these titles, but you still are somebody too.
Right.
You
Oh,
have
I love that.
story too,
Yes.
and we, we're mothers, we have
Mhm.
influence over our children, we have influence over our children's friends, we have
Right.
influence over people who don't say one word to us, but they're watching us from behind
Right.
social media cameras. And we're inspiring people and motivating people that you don't even know, you know.
Right.
So I don't know how I got on all that about faith, but I just know that all of us have a story and
Right.
all of us have something to bring to the table. So you know, Juanita, that's another thing that that I know I've been called to do, to just inspire and motivate people, like what I was telling you earlier about let's build her up and let's build him up. Like,
Right.
you know, that's something, that's an assignment that I know God gave me, right? And I had no idea at the time. I was really going through at the time, trying to figure out the trauma that I was experiencing in my life, you know, some family situations, um with my brother, my mom, and my dad, just trying to navigate my mind through how to handle all of that, because I'm the person in my family then, not now, because I flipped the script on some things, right?
Okay.
I don't carry that weight anymore. But then I was carrying a lot of weight trying to fix things, right?
Okay.
In the middle of that, I was walking outside and God just flipped it, like turned it he made me turn the message completely off of me and gave me a bigger picture, right? And so sometimes it's like we can think that we're going through so much, but in times that God really want to speak to us, if we don't get the clutter out of our ears and
Right.
stop having pity parties, we can miss moments.
Listen.
We can miss moments. So, you know,
Yes.
that's a part of my side. I want to help people to not miss moments, to be themselves, to not have to feel like that they don't have a seat at the table, and to feel like they need a title to be something.
Right.
And you know, you got to have such and such amount of numbers on your social media pages in order for you to seem important. No, you are important just like you are on the way to where you going. How about that?
Yes, definitely. You have to continuously encourage yourself of that, but make sure
Right.
you have the right people in your ear who can speak life into you in those waiting seasons. I think that is so important. So we talked a lot about being an entrepreneur. So on your entrepreneur journey, were there any times where your faith was tested, and then how did you overcome those challenges?
Ooh, yeah, you know, faith was tested, of course.
Yes.
Um, one particular thing that stands out in my mind right now is when I talked about the store, like going from shutting the store down and going. Well, I never left online, but closing my store, my brick and mortar store, and then deciding that I was going to retire myself from doing hair. During that moment, it was right when COVID hit, right?
Okay.
And I was in the middle of a contract. I was in the middle of a lease. And I think I may had like a year and a couple of months left over. And I literally had to say, I had to get an agreement with what I
Right.
felt in my heart. Of course, the leasing company was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, it was like a situation, it was a 911 situation where I needed God to lift up somebody somewhere
Right.
to use their power and their ability to help us. I remember this moment in my living room floor, and I was crying out to God literally and praying and just believe in my prayers. I just remember me saying, God, I know you did not bring me this far for me to have this weight on me like this.
Right.
When
Right.
I tell you, literally, the next day, I started researching some stuff. When I tell you the next day, end up being connected with a couple of people who gave me some you know, advice and wisdom on how to handle the situation. Now, financially, if you let my husband tell it, he wanted to do it a whole completely different way, and I understand his version, you know, because what they were asking me to do was a little overboard considering the situation.
Sure.
But you know what I'm saying? And but this is where my peace rested in. My peace rested in, Juanita. There was a specific total that I told God I needed him to be able to handle,
Okay.
handle this situation. After talking to the people, because they were, like I said, overboard, after talking to the people, it was that amount.
See?
And not only that, I mean, even though there was still some extended expenses there,
Sure.
it wasn't about that for me. And that's that those are those moments that I had to pivot and realize I asked God for something specifically. He gave it specifically. Like,
Right. Yes.
so, you know what I'm saying? So even in that moment, even though it still was considered a burden, financial burden to the way that they handled it, it wasn't a burden in my heart though.
Right.
You see what I'm
Right.
saying? Because I led with my heart. I led with my heart and I led with my faith. So it's
Right.
moments like that that I know that, putting my faith in God and trusting him, I still came out on top. You know
Yeah.
why? Because this right here was clean and
Yes.
clear. Oh, I still love it. I can still feel how I felt in that moment,
Right.
because business, leases, contracts, listen, you need to know that you need to be able to
Right.
somebody to read contracts and get an agreement with you. Get you some friends that know about this kind of stuff.
Right. Definitely. Yes. Sure. And I think you said something that's very important. So this was a hard moment, you were crying. And sometimes, of course our emotions are real, but sometimes we gotta pull ourselves out of the pity party that we're throwing for
Mhm.
ourselves and pray. And I promise you, when you start to pray, God will lead you to the right people or
Yep,
places that can help you see the light at the end of the tunnel.
yep,
But sometimes we're so consumed with the pain that we feel
yeah,
in those seasons of waiting that we don't see the light at the end of the tunnel ourselves. But I promise you, God will lead you to the right people who
right.
can help you navigate those hard seasons. They may have experienced the same thing that you've experienced, or they may be able to connect you,
That's
to
it.
the right place or people who can help you. So that's why it's important to have the right voices and people in your life, because
Hmm.
it's so easy to stay stuck in a pity party. That's
Yes,
that's the
ma'am.
easy thing. But pulling yourself out of that pity party, those are the hard things that we have to do to see the light at the end of the tunnel at the end of our waiting
That's
period.
right. Listen, let me tell you that it didn't happen that very next day, but during the course of that week, I had someone to reach out to me that gave me her services for free.
See?
She spoke on my behalf for free. It's
Listen.
nothing and nobody can tell me that I know that that was not God
Right.
who
Right.
came in and spoke to this lady to handle me as if I were her client. Do you hear me?
Right.
Like,
That's grace, right? That's
listen,
favor.
that's favor. I
Yes.
could not believe it. And that's why I said, even though there was a financial debt to that situation, it was not a debt to me. It was
Hmm.
freedom to me because
Right.
it was a twofold thing for me because I had decided that I was leaving my career, that I was going to retire my career and I was going to completely go full time with at the time, my 6-year-old business.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
that was a whole lot within itself. And then to have that extra thing on top of it, hey, but listen, I passed that test.
And I want to ask you, so how much do you think your perspective has to do with your faith, right? The
Uh-huh.
way that you choose to see things, like how can
Right.
that affect your faith?
Right. Yeah. So again, I don't know if it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday. So, oh no, it was this morning. So I posted a reel on my business page, my boutique page. And I think I said something like manifesting your dreams or something. I said something about manifesting because in the reel I'm showing one of my outfits and I was basically talking about the way we feel about ourselves, right? I can feel like I'm the outfit, of course, was something, fancy, cute, and chic, right? But I feel like that even in fitness gear,
Okay.
So the way that I see myself, there are certain things that I do wake up in the morning and I specifically do to so I can feel myself.
Right.
I'm gonna
Right.
keep it real. There's certain things like my hair got to be right. I gotta go work out. And whatever
Yes.
I got on, I gotta have on. It gotta feel cute to me. That's just me.
I don't never see you not cute, first of all. So there's that.
But to answer your question, that perspective is the way I feel about me is what drives me. That's what I think makes me different and
Right.
makes me unique and makes me bold and makes me confident. You know why? Because growing up, I never felt that way. I
Okay.
always had issues that affected my I guess my confidence in myself.
Right.
So now as a woman, a wife, a mom, and all of the different things I struggled with to get here. Listen, I'm not letting nothing and nobody take this joy that I have in my life from me. So my
Yeah.
perspective every day, I have to feel confident. I have to feel free. I have to
Right.
be me. I don't want to do it like anybody else. I don't care if it's against the grain. I don't care if it's not a trend. I don't care. I'm going to do me.
Yes, I love that. Your perspective, it makes a really big difference in how you feel and the way that you carry yourself and being able
That's
to
right.
walk in those rooms where, you know, people may feel that you're not qualified for, but if God is the person that's opening those doors for you, his perspective, first of all, is the one that matters. And when we remember who he called us to be and we walk in that, then our perspective of ourselves should always line up with who
Come on
God
now.
created and called us to be.
That's right.
So I love this. Like I can continue talking about
Me
this
too.
all night long. So I know that we're gonna have another segment with you on Lisa. So tell us, how can viewers connect with you on social media, order from your boutique, order your books?
Okay, so first my website is www.looks with an S, looks by Lisa Freeman and .com. And then on Instagram, my personal page is this is underscore Lisa Freeman. And then the boutique is Shop Lisa Freeman. Both of those are on Instagram. And then on Facebook, my personal page is Lisa Freeman, and then the boutique page is Looks by Lisa Freeman on Facebook. Um, Also, I've tried the what they call it, the what is it, the
Threads. Yeah.
threads. Look, I think I made two posts over there, so Instagram connect you over. I'm gonna try to research that some more. We on TikTok, but I don't post a lot on TikTok. We on TikTok at
Okay.
Marriage That Works. That's a another ministry platform my husband and I have. And we're getting ready to do some things over there too. Where else am I on? Yeah, that's about it. Because I don't really tweet a lot. I don't do a lot of, but threads that I heard is just like Twitter. So we're gonna see. We're gonna
It
see.
is. It is. It is. But when we navigate in social media and being entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs, we have to figure it out, right?
Right,
And
right,
I know we will. And
right.
you mentioned a marriage that works. So let's talk about, are there any upcoming events that you all have going on that we can check out?
Yes, so we do. We actually have an event called Let's Build Him Up. We just did an event called Let's Build Her Up. That's also on Instagram too, if y'all want to go check that out to see what that's all about. But really, it's a platform to build ourselves up as women. And then we did it twice in 2019. And after the second one, my middle son, he was like, Mom, we need to do this for the men. And so, after talking with him and talking with my husband, I was like, you know what, that'll be a great idea. So now this year 2023 will be the first Let's Build Him Up and we're going to add a couples edition to that. So basically it's going to be a 2-day event to come together, let the men shining the light on men, shining the light on their vision, shining the light on who they are, their purpose, and then shining the light on marriage, because this is a whole, I'll take this comment to a whole, this need to be a whole nother podcast, but marriage definitely still works. It's just the people who are getting married do not understand the purpose of marriage. Sometimes it's being looked at and dealt with in a way that people just see it for, to look cute for the wedding
Right.
day, and then afterwards everything go out the door. But that, like I said, that's a whole nother story. So we're here to shine the light on marriage that works. Not that marriage works, oh, it's great over here. No, marriage that you put in the work.
Right.
There is work to be done, and there is a mission and a vision that God wants us to be able to, articulate to the world, that there are roles, there are things that we need to do to be able to bring the family unit back active in an
Right.
active way, because we don't went way off course, right?
Listen. Listen.
So we're looking forward to that. That's
Yes.
November 3rd and 4th, and registration is going to open for that July 31st. So
Awesome.
follow us. Yeah, you'll get
Like I said, Lisa is the one of the hardest working entrepreneurs that I know. I love it. If you need some inspiration or that motivation to, you know, kick it up a notch, please go and connect and follow her on social media. She is never not working.
that's
Um, but that's the way that
I
you
love it though.
make it work, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it motivates me I feel honored that I get to do what I do.
Yes.
It's not work to me. It's more ministry. It's more
Right.
filling. It's more motivational for me to be able to understand that I do have a purpose.
Right.
I do have assignments that I feel like I'm graced to do. So I'm willing to share my life and share parts of my story and my journey to people, because I know that there's somebody else out there who needs to see an example of that. Because a lot of times people go to the big names and
Right.
way up there, and those people don't even have two words to say to you,
Right.
or they're living a completely different lifestyle from what you see on from behind the camera. And when things fall all out, everybody fall all out. We that's a perfect example is what we just experienced with Kiki Palmer.
Right.
I'm just gonna stop right there, not even going there. But anyway, you see what I'm saying? Like, there
Right.
are so
Right.
many, visualizations that people have about people, and when they fail, people toe all up,
Right.
and then there's some other perspectives to those things. But I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna be me. What you see now is what you see when I click this live in this live. I'm gonna be
Right.
Lisa every day, because I don't seen it, and I don't want no parts of that.
Yes, definitely. Like I said, we are definitely going to have another Faith While Waiting session with Lisa. I always love
Thank you.
connecting with my good sister. When I tell you that she motivates me, your drive. So I love it. So keep that up. There are definitely people who are being encouraged, whether they let you know or they don't.
Right.
Who are watching. So I wanted to end the show with just asking you this question. What message of hope can you share with someone who may be struggling with faith during a waiting season right now?
Okay. Well, I would say if you're struggling right now with walking by faith, believing in something God told you, or just believing in yourself, maybe it's a decision that you need to make and you just not too sure, take it easy on yourself. Just simply take it easy on yourself, and don't feel like that, you just because you may not be hearing something right now or tonight or when you wake up in the morning. Faith means that you're believing God before it happens,
Ooh,
right?
Yes.
All he requires you to do is to believe. Don't put him on no time frame, because he can do it while you sleep. And when you wake up in the morning, boom, that situation has been answered, fulfilled, turned over, flipped over, whatever. All he requires you to do is believe. So if you're unsure right now, you're feeling kind of weary right now, it's okay. Just don't doubt what you are believing God for. Take the doubt out, like literally take it out of your mindset, take it out, lay it down over here, and get back focused into believing. Even though you don't see anything happen, just let it go for now, because you won't hear anything still being worried. Faith is not
Right.
being worried while you're in faith. Faith is just believing. Go cook you some, go take yourself out to eat, go celebrate, go find somebody else to celebrate. Take your mind off of the situation.
Yes.
You don't have to have all the pieces to the puzzle right now. Just believe, trust the process. Rewind this podcast back and listen to some of the other stuff we said,
Yes.
and just let this be your encouraging moment that your time is coming. Your answers are coming. Just believe.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I wanted to just encourage you, if you're having a hard time with remembering what God will do, go back and remember everything that He's already done.
That's
And,
it.
and repeat this scripture, Jeremiah 29:11.
That's
I
it.
know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. And that's the way that we are going to end this tonight. Give yourself some grace. Share this video with someone who needs some encouragement in any waiting season that they may be in. Make sure you connect with Lisa on social media and stay tuned for our next episode of Faith While Waiting next week. We have a panel of four different women. I'm super excited. And
Oh,
then remember Lisa's Faith. We're gonna be on again. I'm super excited for the next time we are on talking about faith while waiting. I'm super encouraged by the conversation that we've had tonight. Make sure that you all go and follow Grace for Purpose Co. on social media. That's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and we're not on Threads yet, but give us some time. We'll be there. Have a
right.
safe night. Thank you for tuning
Good night,
in.
everybody.